he's spending on the campaign from the money the federal government is suing to get back. And the people still, because they liked his message, well, because he
But you know what, but part of it is that he might have spent more money on it, but it's like when the voters go to the booth, they look at it, if they are not familiar with it, they pick with the name they're familiar with.
And the guy that spent $50 million on advertising campaigns to old people, he concentrated on old people and Jews.
Well, which there's a lot of them in Florida.
I'm a Jew. I'm like you. I understand your problems. This Irishman doesn't understand your problems. I can make, you know, my family has lived here. His family came from Massachusetts.
He got the vote.
Yeah, it worked because they said the other guy ran the better campaign with less money, but he could basically, they said like the last week of the campaign, he bought almost all the airtime up to keep the other guy off. Just bought the time up in blocks so there could be no, which basically is supposed to be illegal. You're supposed to give the other guy equal time, but since all the time was pre-sold, they're going to work this situation out in court. So,
after the
remember, they said that they have now ruled officially that thousands of illegal votes were cast for Franklin in Minnesota, but they're not going to remove Franklin from office.
That's right. Even
though he was not illegally entitled to be in the office.
Well, yeah, that's true. They did hang that one out for a while, but you're going to expect a lot more of that this next election, which actually is 2010.
They're going to have, the Democrats are promising 25,000 lawyers to protect the rights of the people. They're going to protect, this is a good one, they're not talking about protecting the voters' rights, they're protecting the rights of those running for office from smear campaigns by Republicans. And they said, why are they not talking, they said if they're protecting the rights of the politicians, then why is it specifically for smear campaigns by Republicans? It means they're not protecting the rights, they're basically ganging up on everybody. That you can expect, instead of having Black Panthers at polling booths, you can expect guys in business suits with the Jane Doe warrants.
Oh.
Did you just vote for, we realize the law says that you don't have to tell people, but if you don't tell us who you're going to vote for, we have a warrant for your arrest, and it'll all be legal. And then when you have to go to court, but basically they'll chase people off from the polling booths that way. You're probably going to go by a guy with a baton more sooner than you're going to go by a guy standing in front of the polling booths in business suits with hands full of warrants for your arrest.
That's really bad.
Yeah, and they'll let since the Justice Department no longer pays any attention to the voting rights people, so that the people that are supposed to enforce the laws on voting are now being ignored by the Justice Department.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, so it's going to be an unbelievable election because, okay, we'll put it this way. Every rule under the sun was broke under the last election, and it took 6 weeks for Obama to become president.
Well, they're going to break more because part of it is the way it looks is they're going to be losing seats. And their majorities in both.
They know, and they're going to go every place that they think they have a chance to hold on. They're going to throw okay, they've already seen SEIU, basically busloads of people going to people's homes and the police department letting it be done because the police unions are members of the, like Teamsters, AFL-CIO, those things. They're union members. They're allowing the law to be broken and then letting the court system decide it later on. The court system always decides in favor of the people who are the victims, not in favor of the lawbreakers. Which the Democrats don't understand. We know that the poor unfortunate ones are the ones that were forced to break the law.
Oh, because they were so unfortunate, right?
Yeah. It's just like yesterday, Bloomberg has now announced he's going to meet with the Muslim that was cut by that drunken Tea Party supporter. The only problem is the guy that did the cutting that was drunk was working for the organization that's building a mosque.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it? But that's the difference. They don't care. Democrats basically they said what happened is the Democrats are saying we're going to wipe out the Republicans because there's such a battle inside the Republican Party between who should be running the country. Well, only one fraction of the Democratic Party is in control now. Those are the elitists. The rest of the Democratic Party wants nothing to do with it. They want nothing to do with these people.
Which is why else do you think there's a Tea Party movement?
That's right. They're composed. They said 51% of the Tea Party people are Democrats. They aren't Republicans. The Republicans are third on the list.
Oh, really?
It's
So
pissed off Democrats,
independents,
independents, and Republicans. And basically, every time they insult the Tea Party people, this is where another one of they're, like they said, they don't think any of the people, including the legal people in the White House, listen to what's being said. Then see, it's impossible for 51% of them to be Democrats because they love all of the laws that we're breaking. You know, it's impossible for the independents to be in the Tea Party because we're doing this for, we're going to raise their taxes. We're going to take their buildings this way. We're going to jail your children if you're white because it's for you. We understand the Republicans because they're all racist and big business owners. Well, they're old people like me. The Republicans that are going out there are senior citizens for the most part. So, they're the ones that hit it.
Oh yeah, that's the one where they said the people.
Remember the people my age that helped the voting rights movement get done?
Really?
It was not the Democrats that did that. The Democrats were the ones sending the National Guard in. They were the ones beating heads. They were the ones hosing people down. The Republicans were the ones that passed the Civil Rights Act, folks. They were the ones that pushed the Disabilities Act. They were the ones that give you the 14th Amendment. They were the ones that give the women the right to vote. They were the ones that, after World War I, gave everybody in this country, because, basically blanket citizenship. Republicans, not Democrats. Democrats have historically been against all of that. So, good. But you see the laws are going to be broken.
No, there's going to be a lot more. In fact, we know there's going to be a lot more on this subject because when all of you realize that, let's just say they're releasing all those people in prison and they're not arresting them.
They're not going to arrest
them. They're not deporting them. Guess what?
They want the prisons clean.
Kind of
but we're doing this because the American people want this done. Oh, I think that like 70% of them want them shipped back to Mexico. And that 70% includes a whole gaggle of Democrats.
Well, and it also includes people that have earned the right to be here.
Yeah, it's mostly, you got to lead, watch, the forefront of the anti-illegal movement are people that came here, families. I mean, I'm proud, my family came here from Latin America during the so-called Sandinista Revolution. And we became citizens, and we're proud of the fact. And they're congressmen, they're senators, they're lawyers. But the people that but the constituency of Democrats tends to be among people that came here illegally. Watch where they tend to congregate in Democratic districts.
Okay.
So, isn't that a good one? That's why they think. But what the Democrats don't understand is the people that they're counting on voting for them are anti-gay rights and they're pro-Catholic and anti-abortion.
Oh.
They don't like Muslims. So it doesn't help them. They voted for Bush in the last two elections that he was in. Heavily voted for him because he espoused their philosophies, and they knew that Bush wasn't favorable. He basically was not going to give a blanket amnesty like the Democrats want. You're not going to see a pathway to amnesty, by either party, but you're going to see Obama basically let it happen by simply tossing everybody out and no longer. He's not going to enforce the borders anymore.
Really?
Well, he
that's bad.
He can't enforce them. Because if he enforced them, he'd have to arrest them. And there is now a no arrest policy out.
Well, see, then you don't have to secure the borders because you're not arresting them anyway, right?
Which means they have done more. I've stopped the illegal
immigrant
problem.
Stopped the illegal immigrant problem because, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not exactly what
let's put it this way.
And he saved them all that money.
Yeah, it is so bad that in areas where ICE is supposed to be watching walkways between the country, ICE has now left because they've been told to stop policing it.
Oh, that's bad.
Which means that they said people with drugs are just walking across the walkways now. And if the local sheriff's department or if people arrest them, they become subject to criminal charges for violating civil rights of these poor unfortunates. You do not have civil rights if you're not a citizen of this country. The Constitution only gives rights for those people that are citizens. But we got a president that doesn't believe in the Constitution anyway, so So we got to hear more about it. Tell them next time. This is old hemp.
And this is not a spring chicken. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For more information,
You can go to www.montybobo.net on the net.
wherever you're watching us, subscribe to us, especially our 3D News or News Video Web in 3D. And follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which not many people do. I don't see the big thing with Twitter because we've got like 5,000 followers.
Well, you know, we don't work the Twitter
I know.
as much as some people do.
Well, I don't get people to join on Twitter. I use Twitter for business purposes, which is to pick up items.
Mhm.
You know, and then I have people on the left and people on the right. I've subscribed to both of them, so
Yeah.
you don't get a narrow-minded view. You get the loonies on the left, the loonies on the right, and there's almost nobody in the middle, though.
Yeah.
Not on Twitter.
Loonies to the left, loonies to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
So thank you once again for over 40 million links on the internet, and watch your daily news avatar.
That's right.